Hello to everybody who is watching us out there on YouTube. Hello from the entire cast of Julius Caesar. Say hello. We have quite a big company today, and it's been a very eventful preparation series for us. So I'm just going to, hello, I'm Lizzie. If you haven't met me, hello, there's a little feedback there. What was going on there? Thank you very much for that. Can everybody hear what I can hear? There's a delay.
I think so.
Okay, Dewi's frozen.
Has someone got YouTube on, because that has a delay.
Ah, someone's got YouTube on. Can someone, whoever's out there in the cast, can you turn off YouTube because it's confusing me, or at least kill the sound on it? I don't know who that was, but anyway, so sorry about that little technical hitch just to get us started. Always good to keep the juices flowing. Hello, I'll say hello again. I'll say it properly. Hello, I'm Lizzie, and I am Artistic Director of Shakespeare, and we are the only company currently in the UK doing Shakespeare and Shakespearean performance live using cue-scripted parts. This means that on the whole, we do not rehearse together before a performance. Everybody's seen their lines and their cues, and they've all prepared and they've all got their lines ready, and they are going to bring the play together in front of your very eyes over the wonderful medium that is Zoom and YouTube. And hopefully I'm not going to hear the feedback anymore, because that was very confusing. So this is lovely. I have a huge company on stage today. I just want to introduce them to you all very briefly. Then I will send them off to our virtual tiring house to do their final preparation before this play starts rocking and rolling. So today we have got, so everybody who's out there, can you unmute yourselves for a moment and just give me a big hello and a wave when I call your name so that we can all see your lovely faces. So today we have Fergus. Hello, Fergus.
Hello.
Very good to have you there. And Larissa, the lovely,
Hello.
there she is, Jolly V. And Ashley. Hi. So many of you, it's great. And Simon.
Hello.
And he's all ready to go in the day glow there. And Geraldine, looking ready.
Hi.
And Lizzie Huxley, who is there, yes, looking ready to play. And Tamara, hello, joining us from Germany again. And Eleanor,
hello.
We're all in green this week. This is going to be fun. And Linda, the lovely Linda.
Hiya.
There we are. Yeah, we had some little internet issues, but we're all good to go. And Susie, the wonderful Susie, yeah, you are. All good about you. And Alexandra. There we go, ready to go as Cassius, and Matt, the wonderful Matt, who's working from a new location today, which is very mysterious and slightly medieval. And Eugenia with us. Hello. Lovely, there we go, all ready to go. And Jeffrey.
Hi.
There he is, ready. And Mark. I said it's a big company. There's Mark, good too. And Dewi, who's in Wales today.
Hello.
Where are you? There you are. And Bridget, definitely not last. Hello. Last but not least. Where are you, Bridget? Say hello.
Hi.
There she is. Sorry, she's all the way over there in Oregon, so it's it takes her a while to say hi. All right, all of you lovely people, you've got a lot of work to do. Some of you are playing one part, some of you are playing 6. It's one of those plays again. So take yourselves off to our virtual tiring house. I'm going to do a quick bit of chat, and then we are going to get straight on with some Julius Caesar Roman madness. So it's been a very interesting week to be prepping Julius Caesar, because it's been suitably hot and intense and thundery, certainly in London, and I think over most of the UK. I don't know if it has been where you are. I have this little game that if anybody hears a roll of thunder for reals at any point during this play, could you tweet us at Shake Scenery and just let me know if we've got live thunder happening anywhere in the UK. There isn't a prize other than the sort of the good feeling of going, hey, I was the first one to hear thunder. Because there's been so much while we've been rehearsing. It's actually been, well, I use that word advisedly, while we've been prepping. And it's just intriguing to think, oh, we're going to get some thunder today. Okay, so as regards a little bit of some of the casting, well, I just want to let you all know that we have this morning sadly lost one of our cast to a nasty bout of tonsillitis. So Lucia Lombard, if you're watching or if you're picking us up later on YouTube, we hope you feel better very, very, very soon. And I want to say an extra thank you to Tamara and Fergus, who've taken on extra parts at extremely short notice. So absolutely wonderfulness on all people's hand, all people there. Right. So as regards our technique, because I am going to have a little chat about this at the interval. You get an interval, so there's a little opportunity to escape. So I've used the word rehearsal, and it's not something that we generally go in for, because our entire modus operandi is that we are embracing the techniques of the Renaissance playhouses, insofar as there was little or none in the way of group rehearsal. Exactly how much is very much up for debate and is still being researched quite actively. So it's a grey area, but there really wasn't a lot. Now, what we've discovered for this particular play is there are certain things you absolutely have to have rehearsed for various reasons. We have a certain amount of murdering. We've got quite a few suicides towards the end of the play. So if you are of a sensitive disposition, then by all means, sort of leave us 10 minutes before the end, and you won't have to experience that. But there are things in this, and there are other things about this text which I haven't come across before from a Q scripting point of view, which has made a certain amount of preparation, or at least conversation, necessary. So that's an interesting thing for us in the development of the technique. We've discovered this and we're going, okay, this is interesting. What should we do with it? I'll talk more about that at the interval. Okay, I believe our donations link is up and running as per usual. This week, the money is again coming directly to us. It goes into a bucket which is shared out among our members, those people still undergoing significant financial hardship during this time. And a percentage of it is going to charity, to the Stephen Lawrence Foundation, supporting sort of young Black lives in the UK and creating great opportunities for young people, which is something we are extremely in favour of all over. So it's good that we just feel great that we can put a bit of money in, and as well as share it around. So thank you very much if you are able to donate to us today. If you are not, we hope you have a great time anyway. Okay, so I'm going to shut up now. We don't know the exact running time of this play, as we never do, because we haven't rehearsed the whole thing. My estimation is that we will be over, so we will be finishing sometime between 6:30. I doubt it will go any longer than that. There is one 15-minute interval. Clearly, if you need to take a break at some point, then we'll just be here anyway, continuing. If you would like to tweet us at Shake Scenery or leave us a message on YouTube while we're going, then we would love to hear from you. Things you like, things, suggestions, and all kinds of other things as well. So it's time to go to the hot and turbulent and thundery city of Rome. I'm going to do one last little message, because we do not have Valentina with us today, who is our regular technician and a general wonderful person making everything work. She is Italian, and she is currently in Italy, and she was, shall we say, unimpressed that the first Roman play we did was on a weekend that she could not be with us. So sorry, Valentina, but this one's for you. We're going to Roman it up to the very best of our ability. Okay. So, the city of Rome, it's a hot, politically turbulent place. The great emperor and war leader, Julius Caesar, has just returned to Rome after defeating Pompey the Great. So there has been a state of civil war in Rome. And we're coming into a city that is very turbulent. It's full of supporters on both sides. And political feelings are very, very sort of conflicted. Caesar's wonderful. Yes, he is. But there's a thing going on that people are not so happy about with Caesar. And it's very difficult, because being like, yeah, but he's wonderful. Yeah, but are we really sure about this? So it's a very interesting time. It's a very tricky time. So let us go to Rome and see what is going to happen. So can I just check that for scene 1, we have a Flavius, a Murellus, a carpenter, and a cobbler all ready to go. Can you give me a quick yes?
Yes.
Okay, love it when that happens. All right, so when I disappear, please consider our virtual curtain to have risen and the stage to be yours. Have a wonderful time, everyone. I'll see you at the interval.
Home, you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What, know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a labouring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art thou?
Why, a carpenter, sir.
Where is thy leather apron and thy rule? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you?
Truly, sir, in respects of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir, that I would hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave, thou naughty knave, what trade?
Nay, now I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. But if you are out, sir, I commend you.
But what meanst thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow.
Oh, I said cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is by with the all. I meddle with no tradesmen's matters, nor no women's matters, but with all. I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them. And as proper men as ever tread upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork.
But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. For indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Knew you not Pompey many a time and oft? Have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome? And when you saw his chariot appear, have you not made an universal shout that Tiber trembled beneath her banks to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores? And now, do you put on your best attire? And now do you cull out a holiday? And now do you strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Begone! Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plagues that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Go, go, good countrymen, and for this fault assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to Tiber banks and weep your tears into the channel till the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. See where their basest metal be not moved. They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so? You know it is a feast of Lupercal.
It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness?
Calpurnia.
Here, my lord.
Calpurnia.
Please, sir, Caesar speaks.
Stand you directly in Antonio's way when he doth run his course. Antonio,
Caesar, my lord.
forget not in your speed, Antonio, to touch Calpurnia. For our elders say, the Baron, touched in this holy chase, shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says, do this, it is performed.
Set on, and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar,
Who calls?
bid every noise be still, peace yet again.
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music. Cry, Caesar. Speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What is that, man?
The soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Send him before me. Let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng, look upon Caesar.
What dost thou say to me now? Come, speak again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He's a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go see the order of the course?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now. Of late, I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late, with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil, perhaps, to my behaviours. But let not, therefore, my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one. Nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forget the shows of love to other men.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius. For the eye sees not itself by reflection by some other things.
'Tis just, and it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning under this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? You would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me?
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear, and since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which yet you know not of. And be not jealous on me, Brutus. Were I a common laughter, or did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester, if you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so?
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. Wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught towards the general good, Set honour in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently, for let the gods so speed me, as I love the name of honour more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favour. Well, honour is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as lief not be, as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink." I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I, the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body if Caesar carelessly but nod on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His coward lips did from their collar fly, and that same eye, whose bend doth all the world, did lose his lustre. I did hear him groan, aye, and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him, and write their speeches in their books, alas, it cried, "Give me some drink, Titinius," as a sick girl. Tiggons, it doth amaze me a man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world, and bear
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honours that are heaped on Caesar.
Hey, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs, and peep about to find ourselves dishonourable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fate. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar! What should be in that? Caesar! Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them. Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great? Page, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When was there by an age since the great flood? But it was famed with more than with one man. When could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walks encompassed but one man? Now is it Rome indeed, and room enough, when there is in it but one-ly man? Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. For I have thought of this, and of these times I shall recount hereafter. For this present, I would not, sir, with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said, I will consider. What you have to say, I will with patience hear, and find a time, both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions, as this time is like to lay upon us.
I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
Games are done, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath preceded worthy note today.
I will do so. But look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Calpurnia's cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in conference by some senators.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonio,
Caesar?
let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep at night. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He is a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter. But I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He's a great observer. He looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antonio. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand. This ear is deaf, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
You pulled me by the sleeve. Would you speak with me?
Hi, Casca. Tell us what has chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, you were with him, were you not?
I should not then ask, Casca, what had chanced?
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, marry once, and he put it by thrice every time, gentler than the other, and at every putting by, mine honest neighbours shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither. 'Twas one of these coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once. But for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again. Then he put it by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and still as he refused it, the rabbleman hooted and clapped. their chopped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray you, what, did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and was speechless.
'Tis very like he hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not. But you and I, and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I'm sure Caesar fell down. If the tag-rag people did not clap him and hiss him, according as he pleased and displeased them, as they used to do the players in the theatre, I am no true man.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Married before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he'd refused the crown, he plucked me up his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation if I would not have taken him at a word. I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was him infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, alas, good soul, and forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that, he came thus sad away.
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye. He spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you that, I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Morellus and Flavius for pulling scarves of Caesar's image are put to silence. Very well. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
No, I'm promised forth.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive, and your mind hold, and your dinner worth eating.
Good! I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell both.
What a blunt fellow is this grown to be. He was quick mettle when he went to school.
So is he now, in execution of any bold or noble enterprise, however he puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a source to his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
And so it is. Well, this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you, or if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think on the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble, yet I see thy honourable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes, for who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now, and he were Cassius, he should not humour me. I will this night, in several hands, in at his windows, throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him. Worse days endure.
Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless? Why stare you so?
Are not you moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, Cicero, I've seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oak, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds, but never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil striving heaven, or else the world too saucy with the gods incenses them to said destruction.
Why saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put up my sword against the capital. I met a lion, who glazed upon me, and went surly by, without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men, all in fire, walked up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say these are their reasons, they are natural. For I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the capital tomorrow.
He doth, for he did bid Antony send word to you, he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's that?
A Roman.
Casca, by your voice?
Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth, so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and thus unbraced, Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone, and when the cross-blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by token send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, Casca. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman, you do want, or else you use not. You look pale and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts, why birds and beasts from quality and kind, why old men, fools, and children calculate, why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures, and preformed faculties to monstrous quality, why? You shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars as does the lion in the Capitol. A man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigious grown, and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is. For Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors, but woe the while our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirit. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish.
Indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land in every place, save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius, from bondage, will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. Nor stony town or walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeon, nor strong links of iron can be retentive to the strength of spirit. But life, being weary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. If I know this, all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man, I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. He were no lion, were not Romans hinds. Those that will with haste will make a mighty fire, begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what offal when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. But, oh, grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman. Then I know my answer must be made, but I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and to such a man that is no flaring telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes furthest.
There's a bargain made. Now, know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. And I do know by this, they stay for me in Pompey's porch, for now this fearful night there is no stir or walking in the street, and the complexion of the element favors like the work we have in hand. Most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
'Tis Cinna, I do know him by his gait. He is a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
Find out you. Metella Simba?
No, it is Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
I am glad on't. What a fearful night is this! There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be your content. Good Cinna, take this paper and look you, lay it in the praetor's chair where Brutus may but find it, and throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus' statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
All but Metella Simba, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow these papers as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's theatre. Come, Casca, you and I will yet a day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear fence in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth and our great need of him, you have right well conceited. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and ere day we will awake him and be sure of him.
Lord Lucius, ho! I
Called
cannot
you,
by
my
the
lord.
progress of the stars give guess how near today. Lucius, I say.
Called you, my
I
lord.
felt to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say. What? Lucius.
Called you, my lord.
Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be by his death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned. Well, how that might change his nature, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and I grant we put a sting in him that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. And to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affections swayed more than his reason. But it is a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, unless he may, prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no colour for the thing he is, fashion it thus. What he is augmented would run to these and these extremities. And therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would at his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
The taper burneth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper, thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. It is not tomorrow. Is not tomorrow, boy, the 1st of March?
I know not, sir.
Well, look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
The exhalations whizzing in the air give so much light that I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc., speak, strike, redress? Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake. Such instigations have been often dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Sir, March is wasted 15 days.
It's good. Go to the gate, somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
You know them.
No, sir. Their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them by any mark of favour.
Let them enter. They are the faction. Oh, conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night, when evils are most free? Oh, then by day, where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability. For if thou path thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention.
I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them. And no man here but honours you, and every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius.
He is welcome hither.
This Decius Brutus.
He is welcome too.
This Casca. This Cinna. And this Metellus Cimber.
They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night?
Shall I entreat a word?
Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here?
No.
Oh, pardon, sir, it doth. And yon grey lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day.
You shall confess that you are both deceived. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great way growing on the south, weighing the youthful season of the year. Some 2 months hence, up higher toward the north, he first presents his fire, and the high east stands as the capital, directly here.
Give me your hands all over one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse. If these be motives weak, break off betimes and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sighted tyranny range on till every man drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and to steal with valour the melting spirits of women, then, countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not palter? And what other oath than honesty to honesty engaged? But this shall be, or we will fall for it. Swear priests and cowards and men cautelous, old feeble carrions and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. And to bad causes swear such creatures as men doubtless. Do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits to think that our cause or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy if he do break the smallest part of any promise that hath passed from him.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us.
Let us not leave him out.
No, by no means.
Oh, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion. And by men's voices to commend our deeds, it shall be said, his judgment ruled our hands. Our youths and wildness show no wit appear, but all be buried in his gravity.
Oh, name him not, let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
Then leave him out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched, but only Caesar?
Odysseus, well urged. I think it is not meet Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath in death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we then could come by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds, and let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to China. This shall make our purpose seem necessary, not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called purgers, not murderers. And now when full Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I fear him for the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he love Caesar, all that he can do is to himself. Now take thought and die for Caesar, and that were much he should, for he is given to sports, wildness, much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter.
Peace, count the clock.
The clock hath stricken 3.
It's time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no. For he is superstitious grown of late, quite from the main opinion he held once of fantasy, of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, for I can give his humour the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8 hour, is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him.
Now go, good Metellus, go along by him. Now, he loves me well. Now I've given him reasons. Send him but hither, and I'll fashion him.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus, and friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put upon our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untried spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you, each and every one. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep? That is no matter. Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor no fantasies which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleepst so sound.
Brutus, my lord?
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Not for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper, you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with angry wafter of your hand made sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humour, which sometime hath his hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed upon your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your source of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk around unbraced and suck up the humours of the dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offence within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees, I charge you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and this great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need, if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? I am yourself, but as it were in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes. Dwell I in but the suburbs of your good pleasure. If it be no more, Portia is Brutus' harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honourable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then I should know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. A woman, I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed. Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound. Here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, ye gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. One knocks. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the character of my sad brows. Leave me with haste. Lucius, who's that knocks?
Here is a sick man that would speak to you.
Caius Ligarius that Metellus spoke of. Boy, stand aside. Caius Ligarius, how?
Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue.
Oh, what a time have you chose out, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief? Would you were not so sick?
I am not sick, if Brutus have in hand any exploit worthy the name of honour.
Such an exploit have I in hand, Ligarius. Had you a healthful ear to hear of it?
By all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard my sickness. Soul of Rome, brave son, derived from honourable loin, thou, like an exorcist, hath conjured up my mortified spirit. Now, bid me run, and I will strive with things impossible. Yeah, get the better of them. What's to do?
Piece of work that will make sick men whole.
But are not some whole that we must make sick?
Well, that must we also. What it is, my Caius, I shall unfold to thee as we are going, to whom it must be done.
Set on your foot, and with a heart new fired I'll follow you, to do I know not what, but it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on.
Follow me then.
No heaven, no earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help, ho! They murder Caesar." Who's within?
My lord?
Go, bid the priests do present sacrifice and bring me their opinions of success.
I will, my lord.
What mean, Caesar? Think you walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threaten me, they look but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are banished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, beside the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fight upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons, and right form of war which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses do neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shrink and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided, whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general. As to Caesar,
when beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the augurers?
They would not have you stir forth today, plucking the entrails of an offering forth. They would not find a heart within the beast.
Gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if he should stay at home today. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I, the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate House, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say, I am not well, and for thy humour I will stay at home. Here is Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators, and tell them I will not come today. Cannot is false, and I dare not false up. I will not come. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched my arms so far to be afeard to tell greybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That's enough to satisfy the Senate, but for thy private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia, here my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue. It's like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these she doth apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee had begged that I shall stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision, fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
I have. When you have heard what I can say, and know it now, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock, apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate until another time, when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, no, Caesar is afraid. Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love, to your proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia? I'm ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go.
No!
And look, here's where Publius comes to fetch me.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome, Publius. What? Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca. Gaius, Ligarius. Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same ague which hath made you lean. What's the clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
Oh, thank you for your pains and courtesies. See, Antony, that devil's long a nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
Go to most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. What? Ah, now, sinner, now, Metellus. Tribonius, I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me tonight. Be near me that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
And every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus earns to think upon.
Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover, Artemidorus. There will I stand till Caesar pass along, and like a suitor will I give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou readst this, O Caesar, thou mayst live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay?
To know my errand, madam.
Oh, I would have had thee there and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. Oh, constancy be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard is it for a woman to keep counsel? Art thou here yet?
Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else? And so return to you and nothing else?
Yes. Bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well. For he went sickly forth, and take good note what Caesar doth. What suitors press to him. Hark, boy. What noise is that?
Oh, I hear none, madam.
Prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumour like a fray. The wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear nothing.
Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been?
At mine own house, good lady.
What is the clock?
About the 9th hour, lady.
Is Caesar yet gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital.
Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not?
That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why knowest thou any harms intended towards him?
Well, none that I know will be. Much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels of senators, of praetors, common suitors, will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along.
I must go in. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. Oh, Brutus, the heavens speed thee thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to thy lord. Say I am merry, and come to me again, and bring me word what he doth say to thee.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar! Read this schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you to read at your best leisure this his humble suit.
Oh, Caesar, read mine first, for it's a suit that toucheth Caesar nearer.
What touches
Caesar.
what touches us, ourself, shall last be served.
Delay not, Caesar, read it instantly.
What is the fellow mad?
Give, please.
What urge you your petitions in the street? Come to the Capitol.
I wish your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Popilius?
Fare you well.
What said Popilius Lena?
He wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius Lena speaks not of our purposes. Look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time, for look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go, and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed. Press near and second him.
Casca, you are the first that rears your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat and humble heart.
I must prevent these, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the bloods of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from the true quality by that which melteth fools. I mean sweet words, low crook curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar does not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand. Not in flattery, Caesar. Desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They're all fire, and each one does shine. But there is but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number there is but one that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked by motion. And that I am he. Let me a little show it, even in this. I was constant. Simba should be banished, and constant to remain to keep him so.
O Caesar!
Wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Does not Brutus bootless kneel?
Big hands for me!
Eat you, Brute. Then fall, Caesar.
Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead! Run hence! Proclaim! Cry it about the streets!
Some to the common pulpits and cry out, liberty, freedom and enfranchisement!
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus!
And Cassius too!
Where's Publius?
Here! Quite confounded with this mutiny.
Stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar's should chance.
Talk not of standing, a Publius. Good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, lest that the people rushing on us should do your age some mischief.
Do so, and let no man abide this deed, but we, the doers.
Where is Antony?
Fled to his house, amazed. Men, women, and children stare, run, and cry out as it were doomsday.
Fates, we will know your pleasures, and we shall die, we know, 'tis but the time, and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then his death a benefit. So are we, Caesar's friends, that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows, and besmirch our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons o'er our heads, let's all cry peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop then, and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, and our on Pompey's basis lie along no worthier than the dust?
So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Soft, who comes here? A friend of Antony's?
Thus Brutus, my master, bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony fall down, and being prostrate, thus bid me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved how Caesar has deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
The master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him come unto this place, he shall be satisfied. By mine honour, depart untouched.
I'll tell him so presently.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may, but yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgivings still falls shrewdly to my purpose.
And here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech ye, if you bear me hard, now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your leisure. Live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me so, no mean of death as here, by Caesar, and by you cut off the choice and master spirits of this age.
Oh, Antony, beg not your death of us. For now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands and this our present act, you see we do, you see, but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done. Now our hearts, you see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire drives out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, you, our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony, our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brothers tempered do receive you in with all kind love, good thoughts and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient, till we have appeased the multitude beside themselves with fear, and then we will deliver you the cause. Why, I, and did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand? Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna. And my valiant Casca. Yours. Though last, not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen, all. Last, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one or two ways you must concede me, either a coward or a flatterer. But I did love Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then my spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes? Most noble, In the presence of thy court had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here was thou bade, brave heart. Here thou didst fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil and crimson in thy lethe. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer, stricken by so many princes, dost thou here lie.
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this, then in a friend it is called modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends I am with you all. I love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else this were a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek, and am moreover a suitor that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you? You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission. And that we are contented, Caesar shall have all true rites and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall, I like it not.
Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission, else you shall not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going, after my speech has ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, a bleeding piece of flesh, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers, who wrought the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge, with Artie by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war. That this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth, "O Caesar!"
Thy heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching from mine eye, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine. Began to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius yet. High hands and tell him so. Yet, stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I've borne this course into the marketplace. There shall I try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men. According to the which, thou shalt discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand.
And here we go for an interval. Amazing work. Everybody, that first half was amazing. I actually can't believe how much the time has passed. God, and I'm sitting here following the text, so I don't know what it's like when you're not doing that, but gosh, wow. This is an amazing play. I always knew it was an amazing play. I love it. I love it when plays come to me completely new when they come through this work, and the way everything's happening over the Zoom. This is amazing. So what is going to happen next? What could possibly happen next? So we're going to give everybody a little 5-minute breather. So anybody out there who needs to make themselves more comfortable in any way, need to go get a glass of water or make a cup of tea or perhaps have a stiff whiskey because it's been a big half. Then I will be here chatting for about 5 minutes. And yeah, if there's any questions, any thoughts, then easiest way to communicate with me is as ever with our Twitter, which is @ShakeScenery. I've had one message saying that in the middle of the first half, I think it was Fergus actually in our company who was saying there's all kinds of thunder going on where he is. So my little Jeopardy game of is there going to be thunder during Julius Caesar has come out on top going, yes, we got real thunder. So thank you very much, Thor, God of Thunder, whoever's up there. Thank you very much. We much appreciate it. Okay, so in the creation of this play, sorry, I'm just going to do a little Shakespeare kind of geekery chat now. So if that's not interesting for you, fair enough. Kindly, you're welcome to go make a cup of tea. There is a thing that is believed very, very strongly between the sort of the godfather and the grandfathers of the modern way of acting, which is the sort of what we have taken up, which is the system of acting from cue scripts as created by the unequaled Patrick Tucker, an amazing man, a great director of theatre and television, who first looked into, well, how did they rehearse in Shakespeare's time, and looked into parts acting and thought, well, what happens if we actually act from a part and things like that. And in his company, the original Shakespeare company, they had a very, very strong belief, which I have read about in his books, which is where I got my inspiration in the first place, to start this work amongst us, amongst our own company. He has a strong belief that everything you need to know, everything that the actor needs to know in order to perform the role is in the part. That if you have something that you have to do, you tell yourself you have to do it. And we've had quite a lot of that in the first half. We've had people saying, here, take this letter to this person. Here, take this person. So props have been handed over and they have been received and people have been told what to do. People have been sort of indirectly cueing sound effects and sort of saying, oh, so that's when the bell rings and this is when the door has to be knocked on. So, and we've had a lot of people in this half saying, on my knee, I beg you, on my knee, let me plead with you. There's been an awful lot of kneeling, and every character who's needed to kneel has told themselves to kneel so that they know to kneel. And this is one of the great theories behind why this idea of acting without rehearsal is actually possible because the part tells the actor what to do. And this is an enormously true, it is enormously true. I mean, we've done many plays now on Zoom. You can watch our back catalogue on the channel here. Equally, we've done plays live in theatres in the years when theatres were open, and we will do them again when theatres come back full time and strong. And so, we know this to be true, largely true. My feeling in preparing this play, because it's my job to prepare the scripts and carve up the parts, and also because we're working on Zoom, I have to start looking for all these things where people have to do things or pass things, or the coordination of handshakes in this play is quite extraordinary. I mean, and it's we've got to do it one way because we're doing it via Zoom. But at the same time, if we were doing this on stage, we'd still have to be walking around the stage and shaking all the right hands at the right time. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be done in this play. And I find it not to be true in this play that everything you need to do is present in your own lines. The whole sequence before the murder of Caesar, and the murder of Caesar is one sequence that we did in fact have to run together. We skipped a lot of the lines and just did the cues, so we really didn't cheat. And quite frankly, if we had to practice it, they had to practice it in Shakespeare's time, so nobody's cheating. But it is actually really not true, because I had to put cues into people's parts, telling them, go and draw Antony aside, go and talk to Caesar, go and do this, because other people's parts were commenting on what they were doing. And there is absolutely no historical evidence of this happening in the Renaissance. But frankly, as as a theatre maker, I'm going, this is the only way to do this. There is no way, they've got no lines. They're not saying, I'm going to go have a chat with Caesar now, which would be the easy option. It would be the direct option to tell themselves what to do. So I sort of assume that, well, there is a little lost piece of work here, a job that was done with, somebody somewhere, whoever wrote out the parts for this play originally, must have had to do what I had to do, which is work out, okay, for example, Popilius Lena, played wonderfully by our lovely Suzanne, only has 2 lines, but then has a really important piece of business to do. Popilius has to go and talk to Caesar because it is commented on in detail by Cassius and Brutus. So I had to put that in her part. And I had to do that in a few others. I had to tell Trebonius to take Antony out of the way. I had to tell Antony to follow him. And so it's like, okay, well, that's interesting. It probably doesn't seem interesting to people out there that are not as fascinated by parts acting as I am. Sorry, it is my thing. I can't help it. But it does intrigue me because, as I said, historically, there is no evidence of this. So it is not something that is known. But the more you work with the plays, you find these things and you kind of go, oh, that's interesting. That's a little something that we didn't know before. It's always interesting to add to the body of knowledge. So I'm sure I've talked for more than 5 minutes about that. I do apologize. I just want to say 2 more things, and then I'm going to check in with our virtual tiring house and see if everybody's got their breath back for the second half. I want to thank Siegfried Love Walker, who is not with us today. He's a regular company member. You've probably seen him act with us before, because he is in a part of France where he does not have sufficient internet, but he's done the amazing job of putting together all the sound cues, which for the first time we are having to use. And again, this is a complicated play. You've got to have doors being knocked on. You've got to have bells ringing. You've got to have crowds shouting. And even if you had real people available to do it in the wings, if you had wings, you still got to coordinate that. So this is a very technical play. So thank you very much, Siegfried. We highly appreciate it. And I am going to embarrass Alexandra Kataigida once again, because she has worked so hard this week, coordinating and creating all the asides, all the sort of secret chats that people have had, and all the murders, and all the stuff that's coming in the second half, because quite frankly, you ain't seen nothing yet. The stuff that we have got coming for you is going to be embarrassing. It's going to be really great. Yeah, sorry, I'm just laughing because I got a message in our chat. I have embarrassed her. That's okay, Alexandra, we do it out of love. Okay, so all of you guys, you are amazing. I am going to call this this particular interval to a conclusion because we need to see what happens next. Because at this stage in the story, all's been going really well. The conspiracy has got itself together. They got Brutus, and they were really keen to have Brutus. They have made it into the Capitol without being discovered, and Caesar lies bleeding. Mighty Caesar has been vanquished, and Mark Antony has been quelled. Well, disappeared. Someone's got YouTube on again. I'm hearing me in feedback. Whoever's done it. It's always difficult to find out. Someone in the company's got it. Okay, that's gone. Thank you very much. I don't want to hear what I'm saying. So let us see what happens next. We are going from the Capitol. We are going into the Forum, into the marketplace, where Brutus and then Mark Antony are going to address the populace of Rome and explain to them what has happened. Let's see how that goes down. Right, is everybody ready for scene 9, which I'm going to call up in our company register? Are our crowd ready? The people of Rome are ready and raring to go. Brutus and Mark Antony.
Yeah.
We are there. Excellent. I can see Mark Antony is poised. Right. So, deep breath. Oh, just had a distant rumble of thunder. Love it when that happens. Okay. So, into the Forum to speak to the crowds. Let's see what happens next. A good second half, everybody.
Let us be satisfied!
We
will be satisfied. Then follow me and give me audience, friends, and public reason shall be rendered of Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak.
I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons when several we hear them rendered.
The noble Brutus is ascending. Silence!
Be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honour, and have respect to mine honour, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus' love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honour him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honour for his valour, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him I have offended. Now who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him I have offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak, for him I have offended. I pause for a reply.
None, Brutus, none.
None, Brutus,
None. Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory not extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced, for which he suffered death. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth. As which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live,
Brutus,
live,
live.
live! Bring him with triumph home unto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar.
Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus.
Ah, we'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamours.
My countrymen!
Peace, silence, Brutus speaks.
Peace, ho-ho!
Good countrymen, let me depart alone. And for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
Stay ho, and let us hear Mark Antony.
Let him go into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholding to us all.
'Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Peace, let us hear that, what Antony can say.
You gentle Romans.
Peace ho.
Peace ho,
Let's hear him.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The oftest good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once. Not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
As heeds masters, I fear there'll be worse to come in his place.
Mark ye his words. He would not take the crown. Therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dare abide it.
Poor souls. His eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now mark him. Shh, he begins again to speak.
But yesterday, the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O maesters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, and who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. This is will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. And they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in his sacred blood. Yea, beg a hair for him, or for memory, and dying mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue.
Well, hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony. The will, the will.
The will, the will.
Hear Caesar's will.
Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. It is not meet, you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood. You are not stones, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs. For if you should, oh, what should come of it?
Read the will. We'll hear it, Antony. You shall read us the will. Caesar's
The will.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have overshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men.
The will.
The will.
Murderers, the will. Read the will.
You will compel me then to read the will. Then make a ring around the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you what him that made the will. Shall I descend? And will you give me leave?
Come down.
Come down.
Yeah.
Nay, press not so upon me. Stand far off.
I stand from the hearse.
Stand back, room, bareback, stand back.
You have tears. Prepare to shed them now. You all know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent. That day he overcame the Nervii. Look, in this place ran Cassius' dagger through. And see what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, as he plucked his cursed steel away, marked how the blood of Caesar followed it, and rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all, for when noble Caesar saw him stab, ingratitude more strong than traitor's arms quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here is himself, marred, as you see, with traitors.
Oh, piteous spectacle. Oh, most bloody sight.
Our noble Caesar, a woeful day.
Oh, traitors, villains!
Oh, most bloody sight.
We'll be revenged. Revenge! About, seek, burn, fire, kill, slay, let not a traitor live!
Stay, countrymen.
Peace there. Hear, noble Antony.
We'll hear him. We'll follow him. We'll die with him.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not that made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is. But as you all know me, a plain, blunt man, I love my friend. And that they know full well, that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither writ, nor words, nor worth, action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there when Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
We'll mutiny.
We'll mutiny.
We'll mutiny. We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Away then. Come, seek the conspirators.
Yet hear me, countrymen. Yet hear me speak.
Peace, ho, ho! Hear Antony, most noble Antony.
Why, friends, ye go to do you know not what? Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then. You have forgot the will I told you of.
Most true,
the will. Let's hear the will.
Hear the will.
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal. To every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar will revenge his death.
Hear me with patience.
Peace, ho!
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, and new planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you, and to your heirs forever common pleasures, to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never, never. Come, away, away. We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands of fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body.
Room for Anthony, most noble Anthony.
Go fetch fire!
Pluck down benches.
Pluck down forms, windows, anything!
Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt.
Sir, Octavius is already come to Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And thither will I straight to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything.
I heard him say Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike they had some notice of the people, how I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unluckily charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
Aye, and briefly.
Aye, and wisely.
Aye, and truly you were best.
What is my name? Whether am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely indeed, I am a bachelor.
That's as much to say they are fools that marry. You'll bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed directly.
Directly, I am going to Caesar's funeral.
Oh, as a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly.
For your dwelling, briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol.
Your name, sir, truly.
Truly, my name is Sinner.
Tear him to pieces. He's a conspirator.
I am Sinner the poet. I am Sinner the poet.
For his dad, and for his blood.
I am not Sinner the conspirator.
It won't matter. His name is Sinner. That is out of his heart and turn him going.
Tear him, tear him.
Come, brands, ho, firebrands. To Brutus, to Cassius, burn all! Some to Decius' house, and some to Casca's, some to Ligarius. Away, go!
These many then shall die. Their names are picked.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus.
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
Upon condition, Publius shall not live, who is your sister's son, Mark Antony.
He shall not live. Look, with a spot, I damn him. But Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house. Fetch the will thither, and we shall determine how to cut off some charge in legacies.
What shall I find you here?
Or here or at the Capitol.
This is a slight, unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands. Is it fit the threefold world divide that he should stand one of the three to share it?
So you thought him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription.
Octavius, I have seen more days than you. And though we lay these honours on this man to ease ourselves of divers slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven as we point the way, and having brought our treasure where we will, then take we down his load, and turn him off, like to the empty ass, to shake his ears and graze in the commons.
You may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse, Octavius, and for that I do appoint him store of provender. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to wind, to stop, to run directly on, his corporal motion governed by my spirit. And in some taste is Lepidus but so. He must be taught and trained and bid go forth, a barren-spirited fellow, one that feeds on objects, arts, and imitations, which out of use and stalled by other men begin his fashion. Do not talk of him, but as a property. And now, Octavius, listen. Great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined. Our best friends made, our means stretched, and let us presently go sit in the council. How covert matters may be best disclosed, and open perils surest answer it.
Let us do so, for we are at the stake and bade about with many enemies, and some that smile in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
Stand ho.
Give the word and stand.
What now, Lucilius? Is Cassius near?
He is at hand, and Pindarus is come to do you salutation from his master.
Greets me well. Your master Pindarus, in his own charge, or by ill officers, hath given me some worthy cause to wish things done undone, but if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt but that my noble master will appear such as he is, full of regard and honour.
He's not doubted. Word, Lucilius, how he received you, let me be resolved.
With courtesy and with respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor with such free and friendly conference as he hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith. For hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant show and promise of their mettle. But when they should endure the bloody spur, they fall their crests, and like deceitful jades sink in the trial. Comes his army on?
They mean this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius.
Ah, he is arrived. March gently on to meet him.
Stand ho.
Stand ho. Speak the word along.
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? If not so, how should I wrong a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them...
Cassius, be content. Speak your grief softly. I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies here, which shall perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them move away. Then in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs. I will give you audience.
Pindarus, bid your commanders lead their charges off a little from this ground.
Lucilius, do you the like, and let no man come to our tent till we have done our conference. Let Lucius and Titinius guard our door.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella, for taking bribes here of the Sardians, where it... My letters! Praying on his side, because I knew the man was slighted off.
You wrong yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offence should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm to sell and march your offices for gold to undeservers.
Aye, an itching palm. You know that you are Brutus that speaks this, or by their gods, this speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honours this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement?
Remember March! The Ides of March, remember! Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? And what villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What? Shall one of us, that struck the foremost man of all this world, but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes, and sell the mighty space of our large honours for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bay the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait, not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier, I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
No, too, you're not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more, I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no further.
Away, slight man.
Is it possible?
Hear me, for I will speak, but I give way and room to your rash choler. Shall I be frighted when a madman stares?
Gods, gods, must I endure all this?
All this? Aye, more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how choleric you are, and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy human? Now, by the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth, for my laughter when you are waspish.
It's come to this.
You say you are a better soldier. Well, let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. Now, for mine own part, I should be glad to learn of noble men.
You wrong me. Every way you wrong me. Brutus, I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
But when Caesar lived, he does not thus have moved me.
Peace, peace. You durst not so have tempted him.
I durst not.
No.
What? Durst not tempt him.
For your life you durst not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. For I am armed, so strong in honesty that they pass me by as the idle wind which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold which you denied me. For I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Now, was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius, when Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends? And be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not, till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
The flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and good Octavius, come, revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is a weary of the world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conned by rote to cast into my teeth. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast. Within a heart dearer than Pluto's mind, richer than gold, if that thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee blood, gold will give my heart. Strike, as thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate him worst, loved him better than ever thou lovedst Cassius.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will. It shall have scope. Do what you will. Dishonor shall be humor. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who, much enforced, shows a hasty spark and straight is cold again.
Has Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
You confess so much. Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Brutus,
What's the matter?
have you not love enough to bear with me when that rash humour which my mother gave me makes me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius. And from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so.
Let me go in to see the generals. There is some grudge between them. 'Tis not meet they be alone.
You shall not come to them.
Nothing but death shall stay me.
How now, what's the matter?
Oh, shame you generals! What do you mean? Love and be friends, as two such men should be, for I have seen more years in me than in ye.
How wildly does this cynic rhyme?
Get you hence, sirrah. Saucy fellow, hence.
Bear with him, Brutus, 'tis his fashion.
I'll know his humour when he knows his time. What should the wars do with these jigging fools? Companion, hence.
Away, be gone.
Lucilius and Titinius, bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight.
And come yourselves and bring Messala with you immediately to us.
Lucius, a bowl of wine.
I did not think you could have been so angry.
Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Portia?
She is dead.
How escaped I killing when I crossed you so? Oh, insupportable and touching loss. Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and grief that young Octavian with Mark Antony had made themselves so strong. But with her death, that tidings came. With this she fell distract, and her attendants being absent,
swallowed fire.
And died so.
Even so.
Oh, ye immortal gods!
Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this, I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Till, Lucius, till the wine o'erswell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus' love.
Come in, Titinius. Welcome. Good Masala. Now sit me close about this taper here and call in question our necessities.
Portia, art thou gone?
No more, I pray you. Masala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony do come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition towards Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenure.
But with what addition?
That by prescription, the bills of outliers, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus, have put to death 100 senators.
Therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died by their prescriptions, Cicero being one.
Cicero is dead. And by that other prescription, had your letters from your wife, my lord.
No, Masala.
Nor nothing in your letters writ of her.
Nothing, Masala.
That methinks is strange.
Why, I ask you. Hear you aught of her in yours?
No, my lord.
Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true.
Then, like a Roman, bear the truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by a strange manner.
Why? Farewell, Portia. We must die, Masala. With meditating that she must die once, I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so, great men, great losses should endure.
I have as much of this in art as you, but yet my nature could not bear it so.
Well, to our work alive. What do you think of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reason?
This it is. It is better that the enemy seek us, so shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offence, while we, lying still, are full of rest, defence, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must of force give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution, and the enemy, marching along by them shall make a fuller number up. Come on, refreshed, you added, and encouraged, from which advantage shall we cut him off, if at Philippi we do face him there. These people at our back.
But hear me, good brother.
Under your pardon, you must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe, and the enemy increases every day. We, at the height, are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is found in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures.
And with your will, go on, we'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi.
Deep of night is crept upon our talk. Nature must obey necessity, which we will niggard with a little rest. There is no more to say.
No more. Good night. Early tomorrow will we rise and hence.
Lucius, my gown. Farewell, good Masala. Good night, Titinius. Noble Cassius. Good night. Good repose.
Dear brother. This was an ill beginning of the night. Never comes such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, good brother.
Good night, Lord Brutus.
Farewell, everyone. Give me the gown. Where is thy instrument?
What, here in my tent?
What? Thou speaks drowsily. Oh, nay, I blame thee not. Thou art o'erwatched. Call Claudio and some other of my men. I'll have them sleep on cushions in my tent.
Varus! Claudio! Call my lord.
I pray you, sirs, lie in my tent and sleep. Maybe I shall raise you by and by on business to my brother Cassius.
So please you, we will stand and watch your pleasure.
I will not have it so. Lie down, good sirs. It may be I shall otherwise bethink me. Look, Lucius, here's the book I sought for so. I put it in the pocket of my gown.
I was sure your lordship did not give it to me.
Bear with me, good boy. I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while and touch thy instrument a strain or two?
Aye, my lord. And please you.
It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing.
It's my duty, sir.
I should not urge thy duty past thy might. I know young bloods look for a time of rest.
I've slept, my lord, already.
It was well done, and thou shalt sleep again. I will not hold thee long. Now, if I do live, I will be good to thee. This is a sleepy tune. Murderous slumber. Layest thou thy leaden mace upon my boy that plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much wrong to wake thee. Good boy, good night. Let me see. It's not the leaf down where I left reading. Here it is, I think. I will, this taper burns. Ah. Who comes here?
Thy evil spirit.
I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god? Some angel or some devil that makes my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
Aye, at Philippi.
Well, I will see thee at Philippi then. I have taken heart, thou vanishest. Ill spirit, I would hold more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius, Varro, Claudio, sirs, awake, Claudio!
The strings, my lord, are false.
He thinks he's still at his instrument. And Lucius, awake!
My lord?
My lord?
Didst thou dream, Lucius, that thou criedst out so?
My lord.
Did we, my lord?
I did not know that I did cry out.
Yes, thou didst. Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Sleep again, Lucius. Sirrah Claudio, fellow, thou, awake.
My lord? My lord?
Why did you so cry out, sirs, in your sleep?
Did we, my lord? My lord?
Aye. Saw you anything?
No, my lord, I saw nothing. Nor I, my lord.
Go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers betimes before, and we will follow.
It shall be done, my lord.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. Proves not so, their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we do demand of them.
Tut, I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. They could be content to visit other places and come down with fearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten in our thoughts that they have courage. But 'tis not so.
Prepare you, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show. Their bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately.
Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand, I. Keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and would have parley.
Stand fast, Titinius. We must go out and talk.
Mark Antony, shall we give signs of battle?
No, Caesar, we will answer on their charge. Make forth, the generals would have some words.
Stir not until the signal.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar!"
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown, but for your words, they've robbed the hibbler bees and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless too.
Oh yes, and soundless too. You have stolen their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting.
Villains, you did not so when your vile daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes, and fawned like hounds, and bowed like bondmen kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damned Casca, like a cur behind, struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers!
Flatterers! Now, Brutus, thank yourself. This tongue had not offended so today if Cassius might have ruled.
Come, come, the cause. If arguing make us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that that sword goes up again? Never, till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the sword of traitors.
See that thou canst not die by traitors' hands, unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus' sword.
Or if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honourable.
A peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honour, joined with a masker and a reveller.
Old Cassius, still.
Come, Antony, away. Defiance, traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
Right. Now, blow wind, swell below, and swim back. The storm is up, and all is on the hazard.
Oh, Lucilius, hark, a word with you.
Hey, Messala?
What says my general?
Messala, this is my birthday. At this very day was Cassius born. Give me thy hand, Messala. Be thou my witness that against my will, as Pompey was, am I compelled to set upon one battle all our liberties. You know that I held Epicurus strong, and his opinion, now I change my mind, and partly credit things that do presage. Coming from Sardis on our former ensign, 2 mighty eagles fell, and there they perched, gorging and feeding from our soldiers' hands, who to Philip, I hear, consorted us. This morning are they fled away and gone, and in their steads do ravens, crows, and kites fly o'er our heads, and downward look on us as we were sickly prey. Their shadows seem a canopy most fatal, under which our army lies, ready to give up the ghost.
Believe not so.
Aye, but believe it partly, for I am fresh of spirit and resolved to meet all perils very constantly.
Even so, Lucilius.
Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly, that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time we shall speak together? What are you then determined to do?
Even by the rule of that philosophy by which I did blame Cato for the death which he did give himself. I know not how, but I do find it cowardly and vile for fear of what might fall, so to prevent the time of life, arming myself with patience to stay the providence of some high powers that govern us below.
Then if we lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassius, no. Think not thou, noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end that work the Ides of March begun. Whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore our everlasting farewell take, for ever and for ever. Farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. And if not, why then this parting was well made.
Forever and forever. Farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true. This parting was well made.
Why then lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But it sufficeth that the day will end, and the end is known. Come ho, away.
Ride, Messala! Ride, and give these bills unto the legions on the other side. I'll set them on at once, for I perceive but cold demeanour in Octavo's wind, and sudden push gives them the overthrow. Ride, Messala! Let them all come down!
Look, Titinius, look! The villains fly!
Oh, Brutus, you were too early. Who has granted for Octavius? We by Antony are all enclosed.
Fly further off, my lord. Fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius. Fly far off.
This hill is far enough. Look, Titinius, are those my tents where I perceived the fire?
They are, my lord.
Titinius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse and hide thy spurs in him. He has brought thee up to yonder point, yonder troops, and here again, that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friend or enemy.
It will be here again, even with a thought.
Go, Hinderus, get higher on that hill. God, my sight was ever thick. God, Titinius, and tell me what thou knowest about Caesar. This day I breathe it first. I will come round, and where I did begin, there shall I end. My life is run its compass. Sirrah, what news?
Oh, my lord!
What news?
Titinius is enclosed round about with horsemen that make to him on the spur, yet he spurs on. Now they are almost on him. Now Titinius, now some light. Oh, he lights too. He's tame. And hark, they shout for joy.
Come down. Behold no more. Coward that I am, to live so long to see my best friend taken before my face. Okay, the serious. In Parthia did I take thee prisoner, and then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I bid thee do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come, now keep thine oath. Now be a free man, and with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Stand not to answer. Here, take thou the hilts, and when my face is covered, as 'tis now, guide thou the sword. Thou unrevenged, even the sword that killed thee.
So I am free, yet would not so have been durst have I done my will. Yes. Far from this country, Pandarus shall run when never Roman shall take note of him.
It is but change status for Octavius. It's overthrown by noble Bruce's power, but Cassius's legions are by Anthony.
These tidings will well come to pass.
Where did you leave him?
All disconsolate with Pindarus, his bondman, on this hill.
Is not that he that lies upon the ground?
He lies not like the living. Oh, my heart.
Is not that he?
No, this was but Cassius is no more. Oh, setting sun, in thy red rays thou dost sink tonight. Oh, in his red blood, Cassius is set. The sun soul is set. Our day is gone, clouds, seas, and dangerous sun. Our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed.
And mistrust of good success hath done this deed. O hateful error, melancholy's child. Why dost thou shrew to afterthoughts of men? The things that are not, O error, soon convinced. Thou never comest unto a happy birth, but kills the mother that engendered thee.
What, Pindarus?
Seek him, Tennis.
Pindarus.
Seek him, Tennis, whilst I go to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ear. I may say, thrusting it, for piercing steel and darts, empoisoned, shall be the welcome of my ears of Brutus, as tidings of this sight.
Hie you, Messala, and I will seek for Pindarus the while. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did not they put on my brows this wreath of victory and bid me give it to thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee. Take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace, and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods. This is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius' sword, and find Titinia's heart.
Where Messala doth his body lie?
Lo, yonder, and Tintus mourning it.
Titinia's face is upward.
He is slain.
Oh, Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords in our own proper entrails.
Brave Titinius, look where he have not crowned dead Cassius.
Are yet 2 Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans, fare thee well. It is impossible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. Come therefore unto Tharsa, send his body. His funeral shall not be in our camp, lest it discomfort us. Lucilius, come, and come, young Cato. Let us to the field. Labio and Flavio set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock. And Romans, yet ere night, we shall try our fortune in a second fight.
Ye countrymen, oh yes, hold up your heads.
What bastard doth not? Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the son of Marcus Cato. Ho! A foe to tyrants and my country's friend. I am the son of Marcus Cato. Ho!
No me for Brutus! Oh, young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why now thou diest as bravely as Titinius, and mayst be honoured, being Cato's son.
Yield, or thou diest.
Only I yield to die. There is so much that thou wilt kill me straight. Kill Brutus, and be honoured in his death.
We must not, a noble prisoner. Room, ho! Tell Antony Brutus is ta'en.
I'll tell thee. Here comes the general. Brutus is ta'en. Brutus is ta'en, my lord.
Where is he?
Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, or alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself.
This is not Brutus, friend, but I assure you, a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe. Give him all kindness. I'd rather have such men my friends than enemies. Go on, and see where Brutus be alive or dead, and bring us word unto Octavius's tent how everything is chanced.
Come, poor remains of friends. Rest on this rock.
Let me eschew the torchlight. But my lord, he came not back. He is or ta'en or slain.
Sit thee down, Clytus. Slaying is the word. It was a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Clytus.
Was I, my lord? No, not for all the world.
Peace then. No words.
I'll rather kill myself.
Hark thee, Dardanius.
Shall I do such a deed?
Oh, Dardanius.
Clytus.
What ill request did Brutus make of thee?
To kill him. Clytus, look, he meditates.
Now is that noble vessel full of grief, that it runs over even at his eye?
Come hither, good Volumnius. List a word.
What says my lord?
Why this, Volumnius? The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me several times by night. At Sardis once, and this last night here in Philippi field. I know my hour is come.
Not so, my lord.
Now, I'm sure it is, Volumnius. Thou seest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Good Volumnius, thou knowest that we two went to school together. Even for that, our love of old, I prithee, hold thou my sword hilts while I run on it.
That's not an office for a friend, my lord.
No tarrying here.
Farewell to you, and Volumnius. Nostrato, thou hast been all this while asleep. Farewell to thee, to Strato, countrymen. My heart doth joy that yet in all my life I found no man but he was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day, more than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon mine eyes, and my bones would rest that have but laboured to attain this hour.
Aye, my lord! Aye!
I will follow. I prithee, Strato, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honour in it. Hold then my sword, and turn away thy face while I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato?
Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord.
Farewell, good Strato. Caesar, now be still. I killed thee not with half so good a will.
What man is that?
My master's man. Strato, where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in Massala. The conquerors can but make a fire of him. For Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honour by his death.
So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius saying true.
All that served, Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me?
Aye, if Messala will prefer me to you.
Do so, good Messala.
How died my master, Strato?
I held the sword, and he did run on it.
Octavius, then take me to follow thee, that did the latest service to my master.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators save only he did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He, only in a general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away, to part the glories of this happy day.
And off they go into their tents. Oh, Julius Caesar, rest thou well, and Brutus and Cassius. Wow, thank you all so much. Right, can I have the whole company back onto our virtual stage, please, to wave and smile and say, hey, look, we're all alive. We're all coming back to life. Nobody's dead. Everybody's here. Thank you, everybody in the company, for that tour de force. That was wonderful to be a part of. Thank you for letting me book hold you through that. Thank you, everybody who's watched today. Please come back and join us at 3 o'clock next Sunday, when we will be doing another round of scenes, so a little bit more fun and games. We're then going to take a week off, but we will be back in September with more scenes. And hey, guess what? We've got another play coming up. Our September play is going to be, drumroll, Troilus and Cressida, which is another by request play. It's a lesser done play. It's a non-first folio play, so it's going to be really interesting for us. But that is all to come. So we hope we'll be seeing you, be entertaining you a lot more in the weekends to come. So for now, my wonderful, my tired cast, to all of you, to Dewi for operating, for doing the sound and for running us on running our technology, to Siegfried for the cues, to Alexandra for the amazing fights and battles and suicides and everything that happened, and to all of you that put your work into it, thank you so much. That was an honor and a privilege. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I hope everybody else out there did too. And so I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We wave and we leave the stage, and we will see you all next week. Fare thee well.